Hey, thanks for tuning in to Girl Meets World episode recap, Girl Meets Truth. Pretty basic episode on this one. We start off with a scene from Romeo and Juliet with Lucas playing Romeo and Riley playing Juliet. And of course we have the kiss scene. And unfortunately for Lucas, Farkle happens to barge in and interrupt the entire play and kind of ruin it for everybody. Now, the episode has a good reason to be called Girl Meets Truth, because in the following scene we have Riley and Maya talking about how they need to be honest with Farkle and tell him how he ruined the entire play, and he's not a very good actor. Unfortunately, Riley can't bring herself to do so. And in fact causes Farkle to believe that he is a fantastic actor and he should be focusing his studies on acting and forget about chess club and science club and whatever the heck. What becomes more relatable for me is in a couple of scenes after that you have Cory and the family sitting down for dinner, and Topanga makes this funky, weird looking chicken that nobody can genuinely identify. And meanwhile, Augie is eating spaghetti and meatballs, or what do they call it? Spaghetti. His name is spaghetti. It's Pasgetti, I guess. Unfortunately, Cory takes a bite of the chicken, doesn't like it, and the episode proceeds with him not being able to, him being too blatantly honest with Topanga. So you have his daughter who can't be honest at all, and him who can be all too honest with the person he loves. I will say this episode was a little bit more simplistic and not as great as I would expect it to be, but it had a clear message that, you know, you have to find a balance on how you tell the truth. As some people have always said, even little white lies are not healthy lies. It's just a lie is a lie, period. And it's true. You can't be too honest and too dishonest with people. What ends up happening with Farkle is being told he was a great actor and Riley not being able to be honest with him. He kind of loses his mind and starts, getting out of control with his behavior. But at the same time, Cory telling Topanga the complete truth and being blatantly honest about it, she starts to lose respect for Cory and kind of locks him out of the house for a little bit to teach him a lesson. But ironically, the what do you call it? The true wisdom this episode came from Augie himself. When he brings Cory a plate of spaghetti and, tells him, "Here, I made it for you, Daddy," because he knew Cory was starving because Topanga hadn't given him anything to eat, except for continuing to offer him the horrible chicken. Because there's this whole scene where Cory brings out a whole how to cook a chicken, or the bad things that happen to good chickens. Meanwhile, Topanga's reading the bad things that happen to good people. Cory starts going down the list, chicken, whatever, General Tso's chicken, and chicken, or duck, whatever, just fried chicken, and all that stuff. I can't remember. I'm kind of out today. And he's, obviously he's trying to be honest with Topanga, but being too blatantly honest. When Augie brings the spaghetti, Cory tells him, "Well, buddy, this spaghetti's pretty cold, but I really appreciate you trying to, help me out here." And Augie actually says something along the lines of, "Are you being honest with me?" He's like, "Yeah." "Well, why can't you be that nice with Mommy?" And all of a sudden the girls and him pick up saying, "Are you saying that I'm being mean to Mommy when I'm being too blatantly honest with her?" And then Riley following, "Are you saying that I need to be honest with Farkle because it's the right thing to do and I just have to find a nice way to say it?" And so on and so forth. And yeah, once Cory realizes he's doing it wrong, he patches up things with Topanga right away, and Riley finds Farkle in the theater and he's telling her how he didn't appreciate her dishonesty because now he's quit everything that made him Farkle. Of course, Farkle decides to try and go in for a real kiss for once with the scene of Romeo and Juliet and catches Riley right in the chin, and he exits in his typical "I am Farkle" and walks off, We had an interesting moment where Lucas comes in and apparently caught the whole thing, and Riley sets herself up for the romantic kiss when he says, she asks, "Are you mad that he's no, Lucas said something along the lines of, "I can't believe the little guy managed to steal my scene and my moment twice now." Riley asking him, "Do you feel that was your moment to be stolen?" A.K.A. asking, do you want to be my first kiss? Are you hoping you'll be my first kiss, kind of thing? And he gave the best answer he could have given. My moment will be my moment. And that's when I'll take it. Of course, this has been 5 episodes in or so, and we're foreshadowing the obvious that these two are in love with each other. They like each other a lot. And I'm kind of glad that, unlike Boy Meets World, if this is a case of another Cory and Topanga relationship that we're just going to have to go through the ups and downs with, I like this kid. I will say that the actor who plays Lucas is a good-looking guy. Although, the girl who plays Riley is still too young-looking for me. When Cory and Topanga met in the original show, they both looked their age. Like, they looked like they were the same age. And they were still very much preteens who had not hit puberty yet. And they made a lot of fun of it when Topanga did hit puberty and Cory was still kind of growing into his own. But in this case, Lucas looks like a guy who's already a year or two ahead of her, or puberty hit pretty early for him because he's a buff kid, good-looking kid, doesn't have the awkwardness that Farkle has. But I can appreciate the story. I think in the end, Farkle and Maya might end up together because it seems like he's kind of the stability that she needs. But, I mean, we're talking about a bunch of 12-year-olds that, nobody's thinking, oh my gosh, these two characters need to end up getting married. Maybe someday. If the show goes for that long, it'd be nice to see those two end up together. But Lucas and Riley, that's still way up in the air for me. I'm not thinking, this is another Cory and Topanga or Ross and Rachel or anything like that. But they've been foreshadowing it long enough, and I think it won't be too long before we get there, because a lot has been touched upon, and the parents have been Cory and Topanga have been more involved in the episodes, and we've been seeing a lot more reminiscence of how they've been through this once already, so they know what she's going through. But I don't know. Like I said, this episode didn't hit too much on the heartstrings, didn't pull too hard on anything, but I can appreciate the attempt at trying to bring honesty as a matter of discussion, which is what the show does really well. The Disney cheese is still not very thick. It's a thin layer, but people need to remember that Boy Meets World had some cheese factor, especially in the later years with Eric Matthews as walks with squirrels or talks with squirrels in a Future Vision episode. And just overall, the shenanigans that he got into were pretty out there sometimes. So I won't be surprised if Michael Jacobs Productions writes in a few cheese factors here and there, but it'll be in the same spirit as the previous show. So with that, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking out the recap, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying the show as much as I am. So until next time, I'll see you next week when the next episode airs.